Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna fall off.
God.
Get her down.
So last month I had issues with my front ARB locker, missed out on a run. The compressor was leaking and I assumed it was the compressor. So I replaced the compressor. This here is the old compressor and it was leaking. Thought I had the problem solved. So I went wheeling with some friends in Kingman a couple of weeks ago and the compressor started running. Turns out it may have been the compressor partially responsible for the leak, but the other issue that I'm running into is the seals on the seal housing, seals on the ARB locker are leaking when it's in motion, not when it's standing still, and that's kind of what threw me off last time. I'll show you. So I'm going to turn the compressor on and I'm going to engage the locker while it's sitting still, and you'll see that the compressor will pressurize the system, it'll turn off and everything will be awesome. So everything's kosher, it's holding pressure, things are awesome. And I thought I had it solved. So you'll see that I have the front axle is up on jack stands. Wheels are able, well, it's in park, but wheels are able to turn. So I've got the Jeep in front wheel drive, front axle is engaged only. I'm gonna start the engine and put it in gear and I'm gonna let it run and you're gonna see it's gonna start leaking. Well, maybe it's gonna make a liar out of me, but I can tell you when we were up in Kingman, this is the front vent hose. Pull this out. Actually, I can feel it now. There's air coming out of this vent hose, which means air is getting past the seals in the ARB locker into the differential and then coming out of the vent hose. So we got to fix that. So what I ordered was, here's the seals. And I also ordered the whole seal housing. So those seals go in this housing that goes on the carrier. And then the line right here goes out and through a hole that's drilled in the top of the differential, and that's what pressurizes the system. So we are going to replace this because I'm going wheeling next weekend and I want to have an operating locker and I want to be able to have fun and not have to be pulled over stuff because I don't have a front locker. All right, so my buddy Dennis's shop, it's easier to put it in a lift than it is crawling around on the floor. So we're gonna get the diff drain in here before we start working on the outer axles. All right, so the diff's draining. We're gonna pull the hubs off. That allows us to pull the carrier out and replace the seal that's hooked to this.
You gonna dig?
No, I pulled that because I forgot to take this off first. Thank you, sir. All right, that's one side down. All righty, so we got the passenger side axle out, driver's side axle out. Now we're gonna work on pulling the carrier out. This fitting needs to come off the top. Pull this copper line down, remove the cap bolts. All right, so the fitting's loose, cap bolts are loose. Dennis is gonna come over and we're gonna take this out in just a second.
Things have escalated.
So now, since that diff won't come out of there, we had to bust out an antique tool. This is called a housing spreader. Haven't used it in 15 years, but here we are. because I think that's what it's going to take. But basically, this spreads this casting so that we can get a little bit more, you know, release on this case. Try to get this diff to pop up out of there. So what we got to do is get this side to start coming.
He's got it on the wiggle.
There you go.
We do?
This is going to fall off.
God.
Set her down. So, all right, did that finish cutting over there or no?
Yeah, I got it. You want? I was just waiting for a break.
Let's give it a try.
Go,
Doesn't
give it
look the
up and down.
You know why? Because this is an early one and that's a late model one. Okay. Here's what they did.
Well, apparently I have an older style ARB. Let's see. This is the new seal housing. That is the old steel housing. They are different. And the seals that came with the kit are not the same size as the ones we pulled out. So we called ARB, and apparently these round seals that Dennis just happens to have in his kit will work. So I'm good. I'll be able to go wheeling on Saturday. Just got to clean this all up and put it back together. So some ARB lockers are different than others. The basic principle is the same. On mine, the seal housing just pulls off once you pull the carrier out of the differential. On others, there's a C-clip that you have to remove, but like I said, the basic principle is the same. You pull it off, and the seals are captured in grooves on the carrier itself. So regardless of how you pull the seal housing off, the basic approach is the same. Remove the seal housing, replace the seals, put the seal housing back on. It's pretty much that simple once you get everything taken apart. All right, so we've cleaned the seals up, cleaned the gasket surface off as much as we can until we get this out of the way. Put new seals on the housing and we're ready to go back in. So once the carrier is assembled, you put it back in the differential housing and tighten the bearing caps down.
You're done. Well, now you're warm.
All right, so the diff is put back together. We pressure tested it, it holds air. So now it's just a reverse of disassembly, puts it all back together, and we'll take it for a spin later.
Right now, it'll make it keep steering from fucking flopping.
Now this nut with this little pin on it, it's a pain in the ass to get this on right.
Yeah, sadly, that. Yeah, we'll send them over to the house. They're old. Yeah.
I just tightened up the filter. I put a half a turn on it. So probably only 80 on the left so that the tank sitting on it.
They don't know either.
Butter or this or that or who knows.
So now we apply gasket sealer to the differential cover, put it back on the housing, and tighten the bolts down. I prefer to use the Permatex Ultra Gray. It just works better for me. I've used blue in the past, and I seem to end up with leaks.
Glue?
I brought some with me.
I'm gonna try something.
Well, we're done. I just got to put the wheels on it and head home. And we're set for wheeling on Saturday at Smasher Canyon. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you like the channel, please consider subscribing. It's warming up. We're looking forward to some more outdoor adventures. Hope you'll come along and join us. Thanks for watching.